It is another edition of Mile High Hockey. Mike Evans, Will Peterson, with you as always. Mike, Tuesday night's Avalanche game was fascinating because they win it 3-2 in overtime. Another very dramatic goal with an empty net on their end. Arturi Lehkonen gets it tied in overtime. Logan O'Connor has a heck of a shift, finds Nathan MacKinnon, finds Devon Toews. Avs steal one from the Rangers 3-2. Highway robbery of 2 points. And then you hear from Jared Bednar after the game, and he was, quote, unimpressed.
It was
unimpressed.
Awesome. I thought it was awesome. Like, we kicked off our show with Stoke and Schlereth that next morning. And all I did was say, hey, guys, the Avs played last night in case you missed it. And, well, here's how it went. And we played 2 Jared Bednar clips back to back. And I was like, man, you would think, listening to that, they lost. They won. They won with a thrilling comeback and win in overtime. But I think it speaks, and I think it's one of those reactions that if you're an Avalanche fan, it's why you're so proud to be an Avs fan and why this is an era of Avalanche hockey that you should be so enjoying, because the standards, Will. The standards are so ridiculously high that even after a win, these guys aren't happy.
Right. Well, and they take their tone from their head coach because he said Mackenzie Blackwood was the best player on the ice for either team, was the reason the Avalanche stole the 2 points. Let's talk about Blackwood, Mike. It's right here in our YouTube caption on all our social medias. Is Mackenzie Blackwood creeping his way into the Vezina Trophy conversation? Now, we always love talking about the Hart and the Norris around here, and hopefully the Conn Smythe. Been a long time since we've talked about the Vezina Trophy in Denver, Colorado, and I think people may scoff at that at first, but Mackenzie Blackwood's played 12 games with the Avs. He's 9-2-1 in those 12 games, and he has not given up more than 2 goals in a single game in a Colorado uniform. And honestly, the other night against the Rangers, if they get 3, the Avs are cooked. They're done. Nichushkin was out. They didn't have the firepower on offense, but because he held them to 2, they had a chance to win, and they ultimately did. Your broad thoughts on this Vezina thing? Is that out of bounds, inbounds? And also, Blackwood's just insane numbers in an Avs sweater.
Yeah, I don't think it's out of bounds because there's still enough hockey left to be played that if the Avalanche continue to climb and they finish eventually number 1 or number 2 in the West, then yeah, he absolutely has to be talked about in that light. And I thought it was funny after that game the other day, I saw some things around social media about how he had gone on the IR with a bad back from carrying the Avalanche.
You scared me for like a half a second. I was like, wait, what?
No, I saw it was funny. It got me right. They're very good with these things on the you people on the internet, but it showed him going on the IR. I'm like, whoa, what happened?
Whoa,
and then I looked closer and I went, oh, bad back. Yeah, carrying the ass.
That's a
good one.
joke.
You got me.
Yep.
But no, he's been fantastic. And you think about 9-2-1, that's 24 possible points. And while he's been between the pipes, they got 19 out of that possible 24. Look, he's been fantastic. He's been fantastic. And I think that we can say definitively that acquiring Mackenzie Blackwood for the regular season, the rest of the regular season, saved the regular season. No doubt about it. No qualifications. It has been a home run. Now the only other question left will be, what does he do in the playoffs where he's never played a playoff game? So that'll be the next big test for him, but he is aced the Testons coming over to the Avs.
Well, I am going to take a little victory lap because I sat in this very chair. I went on 104.3 The Fan, and everyone said, you got to go get Shesterkin. You got to make a mikko for a big-time goalie.
Well, not me. But,
no, I know.
Okay.
Sorry,
right,
not everyone.
All right, but you did lead the charge, so.
But no, I didn't. I led the charge.
No, to not make it deal like that. No, I know.
But
I
know. Said go get a middle-of-the-road goalie and attach a prospect in Georgiev to do it. What did Chris McFarland do 10 days later? He attached Kovalenko with Georgiev to get Blackwood. Now, Mike, when Blackwood came in, we all said, hey, fine goalie, bad team. I don't know if any of us expected this leap from fine goalie, bad team to great goalie, great team. Mackenzie Blackwood is so much better than I realized. I almost think of like Bo Nix in a Broncos uniform. Like, we didn't know Bo Nix was as athletic and his ability to move until we saw him in the NFL. You're lying to yourselves, and I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to anyone out there. If you knew Mackenzie Blackwood was going to be this good,
no. But there was a sense there that time in New Jersey that he was a big time prospect.
Yes, prospect.
Injuries hurt him. Injuries set him back. But there's no doubt that he has found maybe what people thought that potential was going to be, it is definitely being realized here. And it has been a remarkable, perfect fit. And now let's just see how far it can take the Avs in the regular season, and then it gets real interesting come playoff time.
Yeah, Connor Hellebuck, definitely the favorite for the Vezina. Shut the Avs out again the other night. Of course, the Avalanche had the last laugh in the playoffs last year. We'll see if Blackwood can creep into that conversation. But speaking of Hellebuck, speaking of the Winnipeg Jets, and just speaking of contenders in the West, another one is coming to Ball Arena tonight. Edmonton Oilers national TV game. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. We all know the history between the Avs and the Oilers. Swept them on their way to their cup a few years ago in the Western Conference Final. Mike, I'm a believer the Avalanche would have gotten past the Oilers in the Western Conference Final last year had they faced them, with the big caveat Valeri Nichushkin didn't get suspended, and in Phase 3, because obviously they didn't get past Dallas without Nichushkin. Your thoughts on Avs Oilers tonight? Do you like my statement that the Avs would have played the Panthers in the Cup final because they kind of just have the Oilers number? And then after that, we can do maybe a broad conversation on West contenders.
Yeah, I remember hearing the same thing last year after the Boston Celtics won the NBA championship. Nugget fans were saying, well, the Nuggets could have beaten the Celtics if they got a chance to beat them, if they got past Minnesota. Well, you didn't. And there were some definite reasons why you didn't get past Minnesota. There were some definite reasons why the Avalanche didn't get past Dallas. So I think it's a bit of a leap to say a team that obviously had its flaws exposed in the Dallas series would
one of their best players got suspended.
Well, yeah, but that's if Val hadn't been suspended, then I think they beat Dallas.
Right. But that's the alternate universe I'm living in.
But okay, well, as long as you're saying you live in an alternate universe, because, that's an alternate universe, not the real one that existed. But as far as Edmonton, I'm not a big Edmonton believer. There's something. I mean, they went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. That speaks for something. And there's maybe a little bit. I'll give Edmonton this. There's a little bit more grit and maybe guts to Edmonton that they showed this past year that I definitely did not think they possessed when the Avalanche steamrolled them. That's for sure. I thought they were, paper thin, paper soft, kind of a fraud. So they made a step forward. I still got to see it. I would still have to see it because I think the Avs Oilers. I think that would be a good matchup for the Avs.
Yeah,
I think it would be. I don't think it'd be a 4-game sweep.
No,
but I still think that would be a good matchup for the Avs.
In 5 or 6, perhaps.
Probably 6. Probably a tough 6, but still better.
So let's talk about the West then, because now that we're well past the halfway point, we got the Four Nations face-off break coming up soon. Mike, I look around, and yes, Hellebuck, I respect him, but I just can't get over what the Avs did to him in the postseason last year. They made him look silly. There's only one team in the West, just one, that I can't sit here today and say, yeah, the Avs would definitely beat them, and to me, that's the Vegas Golden Knights.
That's Vegas Knights. So if you're looking at the Avs and the prospects for the playoffs, first of all, tell me I got Val Nichushkin.
Yes.
Okay?
We're keeping our fingers crossed.
All right. If I got Val Nichushkin, and I know Val's going to be reliable for the whole playoff run, the only team in the West that would worry me is Vegas.
Mm-hmm. And it's just a sense of irony that you opened the season there and gave up 8 goals with Alexander Georgiev. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the good news is it doesn't. I've said this before. It felt like with Georgiev, we were trying to convince ourselves, trick ourselves, talk ourselves into we're going to have a parade. The Avs can win a cup.
They were doing that. The Avs were doing that. But the Avs were trying to convince themselves they could get it done with Georgiev.
But I think we can all legitimately say, Mike, if you're probably planning family vacations, I'm planning family vacations. Hold those things off till the 4th of July. There's a real sense this team could play in late June and we could all gather in downtown Denver once again. There's only
one. Well, we just talked about one potential pitfall. Val.
Yes.
There's a second one.
Okay, give it to me.
What if they trade Rantenen before the trade deadline? What if they decide that they can't re-sign him and they just decide, look, he's too valuable. He's too valuable. He's a top 10 player. The value that we could get in return is far more than just the idea that, hey, let's let it play out. Maybe we win a cup this year. Maybe we don't win a cup, but either way, he's gone for nothing. I don't think they would do that. I really don't, Will. I think if they're convinced they can't re-sign him, they'll trade him. And in my mind, if they trade him before the trade deadline, they're punting on their Stanley Cup chances this year.
Yeah, I mean, talk about just nuking the good vibes,
Right.
because there are good vibes. That locker room was bad at the start of the year. They cut out the two guys that were making it bad, and management would turn it toxic once again if they traded Mikko Rantanen. And let's put a pin on
Fear
that.
mongering though, but I still think it'll happen. I still think I think cooler heads will provide.
Let's put a pin in that. This Avs 5-game homestand continues. Mike and I will talk a little more about Mikko on Tuesday, and of course, keep you updated on everything that happened at Ball Arena this week.